Hello, everybody, to a new episode of the Peptalk, and my name is Nidhi. We're here with Kritika Sehgal to discuss the truths and myths of self-motivation. Thank you, Kritika, for joining us. And would you like to
It's a
introduce?
pleasure. Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Kritika. I'm an author. I'm a public speaker. I am a content creator, and I generally write self-help fiction. And this is the reason why we are talking about motivation right now. So I guess this is it.
Well, that's good. Anyway, the crisis of life and the everyday tasks of daily life sometimes bring a monotony and a burden on ourselves, and how to get past it. I think you've summed it up very nicely in your book, The Best Version of Myself, and it's very interesting. So thank you for joining us, and how you'll explain all of those things. So I've always been curious about people who go on this self-help journey and spend their time mostly thinking about themselves, actually taking care of themselves, than just going through their day. So how did you get into this?
So it actually happened. It started from my college life. So there was this. So it's semi-autobiographical. The book, the best version of me, as I speak about it. Uh, so there was this competition in my college, best boy and best girl. So what used to happen? My college used to choose one best girl and one best boy from the college annually
Okay.
on the basis of certain parameters. And the basic requirement was to have 60% marks, minimum 60% marks in academics, and then 3 to 4 achievements in sports and cultural activities to.
Oh, like
So
a
these were certain parameters.
kind of thing.
Yeah. It is also in the book. It is also in the book. And we were 4 to 5 friends who were very ambitious about the best girl and the best boy competition. So I, along with my friends, actually took part in that competition, and we fought really hard. So we were like pitting against each other, as I remember it, and sabotaging each other and being very competitive. So in the process of that, I not exactly sabotaging, but it was a harmless sabotage.
Yeah, it was competitive, like
Yeah,
in a competition, like
yeah, it was actually, yeah, actually being competitive, the right word is. So in that process, I realized that this is not the best version of us. So it was not just about being in a college life and doing such activities. It was about life. I have seen people literally fighting with each other for money and for different reasons. And I guess I feel very lucky that I realized it in the early stage of my life while I was in college that this is not the value system that I want to create for myself. I want something different.
Mhm.
I actually want to be the best version of myself, but this was not the best I was doing. And for what? For the sake of just the competition, for the sake of some achievement. So I actually decided to find what is the best version of myself, and that was the reason the book was created after I found it for myself.
Wow.
So that was the inspiration to write my first book. And then I decided to write the first draft of my book, which I started in 2012 while I was in the final year and while I was fighting for this competition. Well, the moral of the story is I won the competition. I was awarded with the best girl of my college at the end. But I I was more happy, when I actually found out that what was the best version of
Wow. That's interesting. That's quite an inspiration for you. And like you mentioned that it all started in college. So I think it has almost been a decade that when you actually,
me.
consciously started taking actions on that. So it's been a long journey of taking care of yourself, understanding how to present yourself in a situation. So on this long journey, have you found any like very famous myths that there are, for self-care or self-love, groups that have been created, and they feed a lot of popularity and misinformation, basically. So, what are
Absolutely.
and most famous ones that you have encountered?
So while we are talking about self motivation and how to be the best version of ourselves, first of all, we really need to understand what a self motivation is, right? Self motivation is when we actually motivate ourselves, or maybe push ourselves harder to work or to achieve or to work towards our goal or to achieve our goal when we actually don't feel like doing it. This is what self motivation is.
Yeah,
And the biggest myth I just hold on for a second.
yeah,
I really need to
yeah. We just
take
missed
it.
one sentence. It's okay. Like when you're talking about the biggest myth.
Yeah. The biggest myth I actually realized about the self motivation is that people generally feel that they need to be motivated all the time. This is the biggest myth, which is not true. So, as I said, I started writing this book in my college. It was 2012 and it got published in 2019. I was not motivated for all these years. And it doesn't mean that I did not know or I did not realize what motivation is, how to self motivate myself, and etc. etc. So the biggest myth about the self motivation is people think that we really need to be motivated all the time.
Yes.
There are times when we don't feel motivated, and that is okay. That is really okay. So the first myth is this, and I guess we really, as humans, need to understand and accept the fact that it is okay to feel demotivated at times. And as soon as we accept it, we will be able to motivate us in a better manner after that phase gets over. Number one.
Current hustle culture that there is, like you need to monetize every single of your hobby. If you like painting, then you need to sell paintings. Or if you're doing, let's say, if people like talking about specific issues, then everybody has a podcast. So instead of just talking about a certain thing, they would rather just do everything in their life, not being honest.
Exactly. Exactly. Not being honest about themselves, not being honest about their feelings, not being honest about their emotions. And the moment you realize that, okay, I am feeling demotivated, that will be the moment, or that is the moment when you feel very much honest about how you feel and you accept it as it is. And the moment you accept it, you actually, be able to turn it around. And this is a fact. Number two, what happens generally? So, for example, I as a person need a reason to be motivated. So, this is a very basic human Nature. We always find reasons to be motivated, and 99% why we do something, we do we do something because of a materialistic desire. We want to earn money, we want to earn fame, we want to get success or whatsoever. If I why I'm if I'm fat, why I'm losing weight? Because I want to look beautiful. Why should we even have this parameter that I will only feel beautiful or look beautiful when I'm skinny, when I'm not fat? There shouldn't be any parameters. So the second myth that I found in self motivation is that a human being always do something because you know, he want to achieve something in life. So he always find a reason without reason, he will actually not do anything.
Yeah.
So the basis of self motivation, what we think we have, is that we always need a reason to do something in life, which I guess is not true.
Okay.
So according to me, yeah, according to me, self motivation is doing something without reason, and doing something for yourself, not for anybody else. See, you need to understand this basic sense. If I am doing something for a reason, it means I am depending myself on that reason to do some activity or do anything in life. Why do I need that reason? And that means I'm not doing that activity for myself. I'm doing it for the reason. On the other hand, I should be able to do it for myself. So when I will do that for myself, then I don't need any reasons to do anything. Why I wrote my book? I wrote it for myself. I wrote because I wanted to share this story, or maybe I wanted to tell what is the best version of me, or how we can find our best versions with other people. I didn't do it to get fame or to earn money. So we all know we cannot earn money from books, howsoever, very easily. But this is a fact. So it's very difficult to get money out of books.
There are many factors including it. Like, yeah,
Exactly.
I get it.
Yeah. So it's not that easy.
Yeah.
So I did not do it to earn money or fame. Yeah, of course I would love to have money or fame. Everyone wants to be famous. Everyone wants to have have a good amount of followers. But this was not the basic reason why I did it. I did it out of passion. I did it because I love doing it. Right. So when we do something for ourselves, when we do something because we love it, we love to do it, not because we want out something out of it. So then we feel self motivated. So this is the second myth that I found.
Okay. So, but again, okay, I understand it, but in the current society, then this requires a lot of deconstruction, internalized.
Exactly.
We have so many internalized ideas of what motivation looks like, or, even because for a lot of people, actually, like going to job is because, we want to pay certain bills or we want to get something, even if they don't like the job. It sort of pushes them to do the thing. And then again, we spend so much time doing that we don't really have time to think about what we could be doing, because the days just go by and you look back and it's been years since you've been doing this thing and you don't even enjoy it. So I understand, right? This requires a lot of deconstruction in your own life, then actually then taking a step forward. Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Absolutely. Because when there is a reason, uh, so as you said, there are certain reconstruction that we have in life. Okay, when we do not do anything for ourselves, when we do it for a certain reason or whatsoever, we stop enjoying that thing,
Yeah.
and eventually it will not last in our life, for a longer duration of time.
Yes. Hmm. Yep, from personal experience, because this is something I think everybody has experienced in their life one time or not, like more than one time, I would say, because there are exams, competitions that you participate in, jobs, or even relationships that you just keep in your life when you don't even feel anything for them or you don't respect
Exactly.
anymore, like any of those things, but you just do it out of habit and also out of societal pressure. Most of it is societal.
Exactly.
So yeah,
Right.
this one.
Most of it is because of societal pressure. And if for example, if I have a pressure for something, so that I don't want to do but I have to do, then in that case we apply myth number one, to accept things as they are and move on from that.
Yeah, progress, a growth mindset is what we need.
Exactly.
That is pretty, yeah. And So recently, there has been a lot of influx of self-love, self-care, especially because of the COVID era, because everybody's forced to be in a confined space and actually think about what they're doing. That it also has resulted in great resignation. So many people are leaving their jobs because they're not ready to feel uncomfortable again in a situation where they don't need to be. And so many jobs today require unnecessary participation. Most of it can be done from home, or few days in a week, so you get to live your life as well. So it has. But what do you think about this influx of self-love and self-care, and is there even a difference in self-love and self-care, and the whole idea of the growth mindset that you talked about and in your book that you mentioned? So because I feel like it is also related to a lot of material things rather than inward thinking.
Okay, so first of all, we really need to understand what self care and self love is. There is not much difference in both the terms. In both self love and self care, we actually prioritize ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Taking care of ourselves, taking care of our needs, taking care of our emotions. This is what self love and self care is. And why people weren't able to cope up with the anxiety, stress that came up last year during COVID wave 1, wave 2, which I'll tell you the reason. And for that, I'll just come to the third point that I was supposed to make. People were not ready to face their fears, to face their anxieties. And as you just quoted, that people were not ready to get uncomfortable, get out of their comfort zone. And that is the third myth about self motivation, that we always, as humans, tend to run away from our fears and anxieties. We don't face them. We don't want to face them because we think it is so dark. We feel so weak from inside, but it is very important to face your fears. I remember I also felt very much anxious during wave 1 because I was not ready for this kind of environment either.
Yeah.
And I remember, you know, having sleep issues at night. So because of what was happening around. But there were times when I actually used to sit back and let my emotions pass because I really needed to accept and I really needed to face what was coming in front of me.
Yes.
So there are many friends of mine who actually talk to me and share with me their problem, and then they talk about how they can actually not react in a certain situation uh, and just be calm. So I always tell them one technique that they should follow if they think they are actually acting out in a certain situation. That is, drop your emotion. So for example, I am feeling angry for some reason. And I know when we get angry, we don't really see anything.
Yes.
We say what we want to say. We react howsoever we want to react.
There is
So
no.
in that case, how to control ourselves? This is the technique that we can follow. Drop your emotion. Don't do anything for that particular moment. If you are annoyed with somebody, so what we do, we just drop long messages on WhatsApp, or maybe block the other person virtually and react in a different manner. So
Yeah.
in that case, if we actually try to drop our emotion for a certain period of time, for like about 2 hours, 4 hours, after that we will not even feel the need to do that.
Yes.
Because when we are angry, when we are sad, when different kind of emotions overpower us,
Yeah.
it actually cloud our judgment. And in that scenario, we cannot think rationally.
Yes.
And to think rationally, we need to get out of that phase. And how we will get out of that phase? When we will actually drop our current emotion
Yes.
for a certain period of time. And trust me, after 5, 6 hours, you will not even feel the need to do that. and you actually start to think rationally.
Yeah.
And it is directly connected with facing our fears. How we can face our fears. Just let it be for some time. Just ground yourself, surrender yourself to your soul, you know. Just don't do anything in that.
Yeah.
And this is how you will be able to face what you are feeling at it.
Well, this makes sense. I've always, related emotions with waves. Like, they come and go. So basically, there always a time where something is high. Again, if you're feeling sad, you won't always feel sad. Even if you're happy, you won't feel happy all the time. I think that's justifiable as well because there's a whole spectrum of emotions. You can't expect
Exactly.
one, like, let's be happy all the time. That's not possible in any situation, and I've also realized, especially during COVID, because I've also been kind of like a productive person in a way, you could say, because I like doing things a certain way. Like, I've never done things that I don't like, but then again, I try to, you know s- um, bite more than I can chew most times. So yeah, so COVID also made me realize, okay, so now that I can't go anywhere, I need to figure out how to do things from this particular room, and how to understand.
You actually learn to accept things as they were, which were actually not in your control.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah, you were facing your fears, you were facing your anxieties, you were facing your stress. You were actually trying to figure out how I can change things that are in my control.
Yes, because especially being in that situation is, okay, I'm not a doctor. Okay, I am not in the front lines. I'm not a political influence. So what is it that I can do in this situation that might actually help me and others around me? So, like, I can only volunteer. So I used to volunteer all the time, for medical pharmacies or hospitals. So they were like, because they needed people, and that is how I coped with it, because there is nothing else that I can do, because my life is not in direct jeopardy right now. So, but how, we can't anyway stay away from it. So that also made me realize, because my family didn't get COVID like this whole time, and because
Hmm.
I've been very careful about it. But I've read stories, I've thought about things that made me realize, oh no, I could have been there, that situation. So the acceptance of emotions, and especially situation, because it's not in our control anymore. It's something that just
Nidhi, trust me, I live inside a hospital campus. My hometown, where I'm living right now, I came back because of COVID. I'm in my hometown right now. My mom works in a hospital. My father is a public relation officer, but he is also associated with hospitals and doctors. I have seen COVID from like, uh, from a very small distance. So I have literally seen people who were not even seriously ill, who were not even diagnosed with COVID, but they were but they got ill, they got sick because of anxiety and stress of getting that disease, of getting COVID.
yes, true.
And why so? Because they were not ready to face their fears,
Yes,
and they were not actually ready to accept their emotions,
yeah, that
accept what was in front of them.
yeah, that makes sense. Because a lot stems from inside anyway. Like, if you don't have a medical condition, I can't say that you can choose certain emotions, because there are many moments where you can't. But I think, in a way, there are some parts of it that you can rely on, especially yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. See, there are certain situations that happens in our life where we get hurt or maybe angry. So that is not in our control. So we are human beings. We tend to feel emotional. But how we deal with it is in our hands, right?
Yes. That is-
And rather than dealing it in a wrong way, saying harsh words to somebody or maybe, do something else which is not right, we can actually use our emotions in a productive manner.
Yeah, that makes sense. True. And with your book and uh, especially on your Instagram as well, on your social platforms, you talk about this,
Yeah,
like you make videos, you write about it, and as a writer, like you manage to, confine them in words, like on certain number of pages with your book as well, the best version of myself. So how would you say that the especially inspiring writers that Pepperscript works with, like the new age writers, if you can give any sort of tips for the aspiring writers specific to writing, is what I meant.
okay, okay, okay. So first of all, so I have spoken on a various social media platforms. I have interviewed many people, many authors especially. So what, and from their experience and from my experience, what I have learned, I'll share it with all the aspiring authors that I'm talking to right now. Okay, first of all, if you want to write something, just write it down. Because I've seen people who keep on telling me, or who keep on just saying that they want to write something, 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 but they don't even do that because they don't know how to turn their emotions into words.
Yeah.
Tell them, just write whatever you want to write. Just don't even think about what you're writing. Just write it down. Don't think about the words, don't think about vocab, don't think about the writing process, don't think about the writing structure or maybe the sentences. Just write it down. Just write it down as you talk to somebody face to face. Just write it down like that. Just be natural, be authentic, be original, just be yourself in your writing. Don't define your writing and don't structure it. Just write it down. Number one. Number two, when you have written it down, then you read it again and then you think over it. What to add, what to delete, how you can make it better.
Yes.
Because in the first phase of writing, you actually are displaying your emotions and turning your emotions into words.
Yes.
Then you have to write it from heart. Because unless and until you will not write it from your heart, you will not be able to touch other person's heart and soul, and you will not be able to make your writing there, basically.
A writer doesn't cry, then the reader won't cry as well. But
Exactly. How will you write something relatable when you will feel it from your heart and soul and then write it? So in the first process, just write whatever you're feeling, and in the second process, just rationalize it. Just think about it, how you can rephrase it, how what needs to be deleted, what needs to be added, how you can make your writing better. Then you can actually think it over. Yeah. And then in the third process, you can actually work on the vocabulary, work on the sentence structuring, you know, and work on the technical part of writing. So I guess these are the three stages that if I sum it up. Uh, so an aspiring writer can follow this and write it accordingly. Yeah, I actually don't believe in giving like 5, 6 tips. Okay, do that, do this, do that. So it's just like this only. Just do it, and then add and delete it, and then fix it. Here you are. The book is ready. The article is ready. The story is ready. You don't have to do anything much.
yeah, that's true. And so these are mostly new writers. And when you worked with Pepperscript, that was also your first time writing. So um, I would be honest, this is like my only, only specific question that I have is how was it for you working with Pepperscript? And is there anything specific that you like? You can talk about it so the people listening can also understand how the process works of publishing.
It has always been an amazing experience with Pepperscript. I guess I met Sanchit in 2017, and 2022 is here. So it has been a long journey with Pepperscript so far, and the team has been so supportive, so encouraging. The best part, when I was getting published by a Pepperscript, the best version of me was coming out. I I am just being honest here. I have not done that much effort in the best version of me as my publication has done.
That's great. I'm pretty sure.
They did more efforts than me on the book. I mean, I remember, like, literally editing my book for 1 year with the team, with my editor. She worked so hard on the editing. The cover was designed beautifully. So I initially I was presented like three covers, and I approved one. I had actually approved one. But then Sanchit spoke to me and he told me, "Ki, no, Kritika, this is not it. We can do better."
Yeah.
And then they worked on the cover again. And then this final cover that you see right now in the book came out, and it was so beautiful. I still get compliments on the cover.
Well, that is great.
And the day before yesterday only, I met someone, and she told me that she really gets inspired by the cover, and she'll buy the book because of the cover.
Oh, that's good. But well, people say don't judge a book by its cover, but pretty covers do help.
Exactly, they do.
Yeah. So we're delighted that you actually enjoyed your experience with Pepperscript and shared all your wisdom that you've created and collected over the years. So thank you so much. And everybody, so that was Myths and Truths of Self Motivation by Kritika Sehgal, who has been on this journey for more than a decade now and has experienced all of these firsthand, of course. And I hope you guys check out her book, The Best Version of Me, and her social media platforms, because that'll be the best way to understand more about your emotions and meditating with your whole self, and getting on with life and taking care of yourself. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really love talking about it, and we shall talk again soon.
Yeah, definitely, because all of these things never really stop or change. They keep on evolving as time goes by. So I think we need to update them as we get to know about.
Absolutely. And in the last, before we wrap this up, I really want to say to all the people who are watching us, stay motivated as well as stay demotivated, because it is equally important to stay demotivated to realize the value of motivation.
Yes, yes.
We cannot be motivated until and unless we are demotivated.
Yes, we don't realize the importance of something when until it's not there.
Absolutely, absolutely. So stay motivated, stay demotivated, stay happy, accept the situation as it is, fight your fears, fight your emotions, don't run away from it, because this is the essence of life. This is all I want to say in this pep talk.
That was perfectly the best example of a pep. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was great. So thank you.